Hello everyone and welcome back. Sorry it's been a while, I've been sick so I haven't been able to upload recently, but we're back. I'm feeling a bit better and yeah, over the past week I've been playing a little bit of Mirage since I've been gone, since again I haven't been able to really talk all that much or really do much because I've been so congested, and so I haven't really been able to really give my thoughts on this character through matches and stuff. And so I thought it'd be an interesting little catch-up video, just a little bonus video for this week to go over my impressions on Mirage after about a week of playing him. He's probably my second favorite character in this game right now. He's just super fun. I love his abilities. He kind of plays a supporty playstyle, at least with how I play him, and he just fits that so well. I love his abilities. I love how easily he's able to traverse the map, have a lot of that split pushing potential, do a lot of stuff in team fights. Just, he feels like a legitimately great character. For those not in the know, he has a lot of really interesting abilities. He has his tornado ability that makes him kind of invincible. It's a lot like Stoneform Ivy, except instead of stunning them, it puts them in the air for a second. It's not a complete CC. It's more of like a root, really, where you're just kind of stuck there. You can still shoot and everything, but you're just stuck in place, and it makes it easier for everyone to shoot you. His second main ability is also these beetles. They're kind of annoying. I will say they're probably my least favorite ability out of the bunch, just because you have to apply them to different people for them to do damage, so you can't just spam them on one person. You more have to, like, shoot them at a group of targets, if that makes sense. They're really good in the laning phase. You're able to get a fair bit of lifesteal off of throwing the beetles at minions, but again, you can't shoot two of them at the same target, so you can't just do this. It just doesn't do any extra damage, just only the initial hit does damage. You have to spread them around, basically. I kind of understand why they keep it that way, because if you were able to just spam them on one person, it would do a lot of damage, but I feel like with minions, they could maybe change it, because it's a little annoying to have to spread out each beetle individually to different people. Hell, maybe they could even change it so you could shoot at the same person, but maybe they take reduced damage per beetle or something like that, like maybe the next beetle does half, and then that does like a quarter, etc. It's a pretty interesting ability, and it has a lot of potential for a lot of really quick, like, snappy damage on someone, and again, it does a lot of lifesteal, which is really good in the laning phase. His next ability is probably one of his most important ones, which is his passive. He has this passive that puts this kind of mark on them. You see that ×1 thing right there? After a while, you could apply a second one. It's not per bullet. It's not like, oh, you could get like really fast bullets and like apply it on them. It's more like you have to wait a second and then apply it again. Whenever they have that little crosshair on them, they're able to get shot again and have the amp put up again, which is really solid, because if you're able to max the amp up on it to like 8 when you fully max it out, because if you're able to max it out to 8 like this, you do a lot of damage when you finally get the thing to pop on them. It'll either automatically pop after the stack ends, or it will pop automatically after you do, I think, a certain amount of damage or the next stack applies. It's some shit like that. I think it's a really cool passive, though sometimes it could be a little annoying to apply the stack to someone. So usually what you want to do is you want to shoot someone, then shoot another person, then return it to that person, then return to that person. You get the main idea. You just keep doing that. You have a bunch of spread out damage, and you're able to just do like big damage by hitting the passive. That's another way of activating too. You just press your 3 and it'll automatically do the passive damage on them, which you'll get a lot of kills when people are trying to run away with stacks on them, which is really solid. His ultimate is also an ability that I feel kind of mixed on. I know it sounds like I'm shitting on this character a lot, but I actually really like his kit, especially his 1 and 3, but I do think his 2 and 4 could use a little more work, because I think his 4, while being interesting and sounding absolutely broken on paper, isn't as strong as you would expect it to be. What you could do is you could pull up this teleporter on the map, and anyone that's visible on the map, whether it be an enemy or a player, you can teleport to them from anywhere. So he always just has the ability to just hyper gank someone. So let's say it's like a 2v2 fight going on right now. A Mirage could jump in and make it a 2v3 easily and turn the tides of a fight, which I really appreciate, but I do feel like it loses a fair bit of its power late game, because I mean, you're going to be working with the team anyway. I doubt you're going to be off like split pushing if there's like no objectives as hard, so you're mostly going to use it like late game for like when you're farming and want to catch up with the rest of the team, but at that point might as well be fighting with them anyway, because you're giving a lot of value through your tornado, which with stuff like Echo Shard, you can spam spam twice and get a lot of people stuck and rooted on the ground. Speaking of, this is the build I've been mostly running with him. I usually really like to rush a Divine Barrier pretty early on, because if you get Divine Barrier, especially in lane phase, it feels like you're unkillable, and especially with this character, with how much self-sustain you can get through like Restorative Shot and having stuff like Health Nova and Healing Right, you could just be this absolutely tanky monster in your lane phase, and then easily split push with your teleport, go and gank another lane, and then run back to your lane, and then keep pushing up. It's really, really good. I also think Surge of Power is a really, really good ability on his 3. You put that on his 3, and so anytime you hit your 3, you could basically activate like having more improved speed on your bullets, doing more damage. So usually what you want to do is you'll like pop one on them, hit your 3, and then just keep going at them. I think it's a pretty solid ability, at least on his 3. Mystic Reverb and Echo Shard are also really, really good on him. Mystic Reverb and Echo Shard seem really, really good on him, especially Echo Shard. I think Echo Shard high key will probably be core to most of his builds going forward, just because doing something like Tornado, Echo Shard, Tornado is just always going to be really good. And having Mystic Reverb imbued on your 3 is really good, because it does this AoE slowdown, which stacks on top of the 3, which already has a slowdown, so it just makes someone super slow, and it's easy to get those extra shots on for applying more of the effect on them. I was experimenting a bit with Ricochet on him, but I didn't really see much value coming out of it, because it feels like you aren't going to be like shooting constantly enough to really like consistently apply, but I really wasn't seeing much value come out of it. I think there's a lot of other 6,200s that you can get a lot more value out of. I think stuff like Spiritual Overflow are actually really good, because you get more spirit power through just shooting people, and I mean, it's going to be applying a fair bit with you just like applying that on them. So you're just getting a lot out of the passive through having stuff like Spiritual Overflow. Having more self-sustain is always good. Having Spirit Lifesteal is good. Mystic Shot seems really good, because I mean, you're going to be waiting in between shots anyway, so you're going to be activating Mystic Shot a fair bit anyway. I feel like I've gotten a lot of really solid damage off of Mystic Shot in the past. Having Fleetfoot's also really good on any support too, because it allows you to just get into fights quicker. And you're able to make the most out of your 1 ability, which will often help you and your team secure kills, which is just always really good to have. Any slowdowns are really good too, because again, you do get passive slow off your 3, so just making it so people are even slower when they get hit with your bullets is always good. So stuff like Mystic Slow is pretty solid, because, I mean, look at the value off of something like this. Like, look how slow he's having to go there. He's not going to be able to get away very well. And anytime you apply a stack too, that's another thing of slow. Like, he was just paused there for a second. That's just really good. And you get that extra shot in really easily, which is really good, because even if he does get away, you got the 8 stacks on them. And late game, that'll be doing, look how much damage it just did off of just having that passive on him. Just really, really solid damage. Improved Burst also seems really good on him, because I mean, when the passive finally hits, it's going to be a big burst of damage, and so having an even bigger burst of damage through Mystic Burst just seems really good. Like, look how much damage this does once it finally applies. Like, look at that. That's 1,200 damage just off the gate off of having Mystic Burst. Just really, really solid. Most of his strengths, at least in my opinion, seem to be around a lot of his support and spirit stuff. So you're going to be wanting to go hard into a lot of the stuff that's going to be doing more damage through your 3, wanting to slow him down more, doing stuff where you can heal your team a little more, put a Divine Barrier on them, that kind of thing. He also has that passive ability with his Tornado where he has a bit of evasion anyway, so having stuff like Divine Barrier on yourself on top of like evading any bullets they're throwing at you is always pretty solid. It doesn't evade everything, obviously. It doesn't evade like abilities and stuff, and so if someone hits you with something like, I don't know, a Vindicta Stake, you're going to be stuck in the ground. But I mean, for most characters, it's a pretty solid tool to have. Ammo Scavenger always seems really good on his early game, because I mean, his gun isn't the greatest, to be honest. It's pretty slow, as you can see. It doesn't do the craziest of damage, in my opinion, but if you get Ammo Scav, you could have more of your bullets early on, and you're able to put more pressure on, which I think this character does really well in his lane phase, especially in like 1v1s. I think he's able to put on so much pressure on the lane phase, and he's just really solid in that department. On top of that, again, he's able to teleport to the other lanes pretty quickly when he gets his ult, so whenever he wins the 1v1, he can teleport to another lane, help him get a pick or two, push up that lane, go back to your lane, push up your own lane, potentially win both lanes. It's just really solid. He's a really solid support character, and I think that's why I like him so much. He feels like he fits that support archetype super well, and does stuff kind of like how Dynamo does with his CC, where he's able to knock people up, similarly with his Tornado, but his Tornado obviously goes a lot longer. And if you put stuff like superior duration on that kind of stuff, like, again, he gets so much value out of spirit items. He's very spirit oriented when it comes to his item builds, at least in my opinion. But overall, I really like this character. I think this character is very fun. I think he's a cool addition to the game, and it's legitimately just been a really, really fun character. I'm most definitely going to be maining him along with Ivy, which Ivy's been recently having a lot of developments in the meta that I'll probably talk about in a future video. But if you enjoyed this video where I'm just kind of ranting about what I enjoy with this kind of character and why I've been having so much fun with him, some tips on items and stuff like that, please let me know. I would love to do more videos like this. I'm probably going to do a video talking about Spirit Ivy / the Kutsu Bomb Ivy in the future. So if you guys want to see that video, keep an eye out for that one. In fact, if you guys want to get notified whenever that video drops, please leave a subscription down below. It'll let you know whenever a video of mine comes out. And if you want to hit that bell icon, it'll actually notify you like exactly anytime I get a new video out, which will be very helpful to me because that means you guys are enjoying the content. We've actually seen a lot of growth on the channel recently through a lot of subscriptions, and people in general have been really enjoying the content. I really appreciate it. Me moving over to Deadlock content was a bit of a gamble, but honestly, I've had so much fun with this game that even if it didn't really work out, I'd still have a lot of fun just like covering it, and I probably wouldn't stop anyway. So if you like this video, please leave a like and maybe comment down below how you guys have been feeling about Mirage. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. I love having discussions with people, whether it be through tier lists or my impressions on characters or talking about like various different aspects of this game. I just really like this game a lot. But for now, that'll be about it. I'll see you guys on stream whenever I stream. It'll most likely be this coming Monday, and until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!